Joining us now to kick off the first focus hour of day 2 here on Beyond Clean's SPX2021 is James Boyette, co-founder of Moab Healthcare. And from here on out, I'm going to call you Jimmy because I've known you for a while. Thanks so much for coming on to kick off this focus hour.
Hey, Justin, and the whole team at Beyond Clean, Moab Healthcare, and myself, can't thank all of you enough. Appreciate it and really love everything y'all are doing in the sterile processing world.
So let's start with just telling everybody a little bit about your company. Obviously, I read off that you were the co-founder, or you are a co-founder. Why don't you tell us how this idea came about and the niche that you think you're meeting in the industry?
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, real quickly, Steve Flowers is my business partner. He's a registered nurse, and for many years, he oversaw and ran surgery departments as well as sterile processing. Steve and I began working together about 18 years ago and focusing in on services and consulting for sterile processing. We really saw a big need in hospitals beyond just leadership and interim management and consulting, but to have the resources and the team in place to execute the day in and day out operations. And so what we did was we developed Moab Healthcare to fill this gap that we felt was happening in staffing that department with the right level of expertise and the right level of training and experience. So what we do is we focus on simply placing for temporary staffing, specifically technicians, supervisors, etc., in the sterile processing field. And they all are very well and thoroughly vetted and with a lot of experience and certified.
Yeah, I think that last piece that you said, certified, I mean, there's always a need for staffing, but it's not something that you can just throw a body at it just to get your head count right and get it through the day to day. You really do need, as you said, experienced. And I think you really set the bar with certified. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So two quick things. We, prior to this, ran some metrics, and we keep track of this. Over the past 3 years, we average 7.7 years of experience of all the people we've deployed nationwide. So we're very proud of that. So our minimum standard is 2 years experience in a large institution and definitely certified. You know, you can have one and not have the other, and that is an incomplete package. You can be certified and only have 6 months experience. That does not make you a tenured, super knowledgeable, well-versed technician. But you could have also several years of experience, but not have your certification. And we believe you're also lacking in some knowledge that could better your game. And so we look at both experience coupled with certification.
So what are some scenarios that you feel like you've been very successful with? Obviously, over the last year, we've seen just a roller coaster of surgery schedules. It was down, then it was crazy way up. I'm assuming that you've helped hospitals meet the need because once surgical volume started ramping back up, you were really able to help where departments might have already been understaffed. Then the strain was even greater. I'm sure you've been able to help in that scenario.
We do. We've seen quite a bit of uptick this year and in the past 2 months alone. One specific story, Justin, is going back to Thanksgiving of last year, 2020. It was right in the middle of the pandemic, or towards the end of the year of it, and we had a need for an outlier. It was a large strike that was on the cuff in Chicago in healthcare, and we were able over Thanksgiving weekend to deploy just under 30 sterile processing and OR technician resources to Chicago to help them with that scenario. Now, moving into the hospitals ticking back up in surgical volume this year, as more vaccines are being issued and people are more secure to do their elective surgery, by all means, it has been a pretty much a rocket launch for us to get engaged with a multitude of hospitals who are struggling. And I want to emphasize this. I think the biggest struggle that they're facing that makes them call Moab Healthcare is a lot of them are dealing with staffing companies that are really more nurse focused. So they're not really focused on the importance and the patient safety critical role in the Department of Sterile Processing. So a lot of hospitals are in desperate need, but what they're receiving is not the caliber of what they're paying for or what the department necessitates. So that's where that experience, that vetting, and that certification comes into play. So we're seeing a big uptick from the volume increase and from, I think, your typical staffing firms truly not providing the caliber level expertise they need.
Yeah, I think it's really critical what you just said, that you're focused on sterile processing. It's not an add-on to your temporary staffing model. It is the focus of what you do. So that's excellent. Jimmy, anything you want to add before we wrap and get into the next 60 minutes featuring Moab Healthcare here on Beyond Clean's SPX 2021?
I do. Very important that one of the things Steve and I, when we started this company, was a goal to elevate the role of sterile processing technicians, supervisors, those that dedicate their career to this profession and this craft. And I do believe that we are moving in that direction from our pay structure to our mentoring to our growth structures. But I think Beyond Clean, and I want to say this, I think that what you, Justin, and your team, and Hank, Bob, I think what you guys have put together and what you're doing has far exceeded, I think, all of our expectations, but definitely has met the goals of elevating this role because it is so important what everyone does in sterile processing. And I think the awareness of that has been missing. And I want to thank Beyond Clean for bringing that awareness front and center.
Wow, Jimmy, I'm humbled. Thank you very much for saying that. And I am going to encourage everybody to find Moab Healthcare on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can follow them on Twitter at Moab Healthcare. Visit their website, moabhealthcare.com, to check out their blog or see opportunities on the job board. You can email them hello@moabhealthcare.com, or you can call 833-SPD-TECH. And I love your email address, hello@moabhealthcare. I've seen so many infos, Jimmy. Nice job with that. Way to be creative. And thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Moab Healthcare for the next 60 minutes here on Beyond Clean's SPX 2021.